Oh, testing, testing. You saying that? Okay, so here for the coming 4 videos, we're going to talk about the calculation of GDP. Now, you're asking why it would take 4 videos, right? Because there are actually 3 approaches you see, right? From the textbook, page 6, you will see that there are actually 3 approaches to calculate GDP. But in our examination, right? We only need to learn 2 of the approaches, right? The first one is the production approach, and the second would be expenditure approach. 嗱，你話唔係話 Sir，佢寫埋 income approach 啊。Now remember in our syllabus, income approach, the calculation is out of syllabus. Okay, out of syllabus. So all you need to know is that income, which we already know, right? It's calculated in it should be in GDP, right? Because remember, income is a return for production factor surface, right? 好嘛，好啦，嗱，咁所以咧呢4條片咧，我會逐個教嘅 ，OK？ first 2 video we work on production approach, and the third and fourth video we will work on expenditure approach. OK， 好嘛，好啦，唔講廢話啦。有興趣第6、第7版，page 6 and page 7 read it by yourself. OK， 好嘛。Now let's go to page 8 to talk about the production approach, or sometimes we call it value added approach. OK， 嗱，原來咩東西嚟嘅咧？Value added approach is simply the summation of all the value added by an RPU in a current year, okay, in a certain period of time, right? 係嘛？好啦，嗱，記住喎 ，most of the time we will be calculating at factor cost, okay, at factor cost, which versus in the expenditure approach, we will be talking about at the market price. OK， 好啦，阿 Sir， 乜嘢係 value added 啊？ Is simply the value of output minus the value of input. OK， 嗱，唔講咁多廢話啦，不如真係睇個例子好唔好啊？ Let's go to page 9 of your textbook. Here you will see, right? You will see here it starts, let's assume it starts with 0, right? We start with an orchard, apple orchard, 係咪？我哋去種蘋果啦。And then we sell some to supermarket, sell some to store, and the supermarket also sells some to consumer, and the store also sells some to the consumers, right? 好啦，嗱，記住啦 ，step number 1, let us identify which of them are the so-called RPUs. 記住啊 ，GDP 一定係 RPU 先計啊。OK， here apple orchard, right? Production unit in the local economy. Therefore, RPU. OK. Then supermarket, obviously, right? RPU, retail service, and the store also RPU here. Now, what about the 2 consumers? 記住啦 consumers by definition, do they do production? No, they do consumption. Okay, so the 2 of them will not have value added. Now, so 咁個 value added 點計啊？ Here, let's take a look at the example. Now, apple orchard, right? Selling 3K and 2K to 2 different units, etc. Right? So you see, these are the value of outputs here, minus the value of input, which is 0 in our case, we get 5K. What about supermarket? Output at 9,000, input at 3,000. Therefore, we have 6,000. And finally, the store output at 4,000 and input at 2,000. We have 2,000. So adding them all up together, we have 13K. Now here, immediately, I want you to pay attention to these numbers. 嗱，我想你望一樣嘢，嗱，我會 highlight 少少字出嚟嘅，3000減3000 ，and here 2000 minus 2000。阿 Sir， 你跨起佢做乜嘢啊 ？Boys, do you see when we use production approach, we are actually automatically tackling the problem of double counting. 見唔見啊？我前面加咗2000，但係原來我之後如果佢再出現啊，I will deduct the 2000 here again. Originally, I have 3,000 here. It appears again from supermarket, so I deduct the 3,000. 其實你見 cancel out 咗嘅。This would correspond to what we have learned about the intermediary product or what we call the final goods. 記住啦 ，GDP 係講嘅 market value of all final goods。OK， 所以我哋用呢個 approach 啊，其實自動就會抵消咗，係咪？ We will automatically take care of the intermediate goods。OK， 我哋中間嗰啲會自動消失咗啦。OK， 好嘛？ Now here, let's do one more example. One more example down here. Okay, here, let's see. The example here we have, suppose factory X and retailer Y are resident producing unit of economy A. 嗱咁即係啦，佢俾咗兩個 RPU 你啦。Okay, now we need to calculate the following chain to the production. 記住啦，嗱 although the question already tells you RPU and RPU, remember we also need to identify all the RPUs here. Okay, 好啦，我哋試下啦。Here, imported from overseas. When you see overseas, definitely not an RPU. 係咪肯定唔係本地啦 ？Material from local producer 記唔記得？窒機添。嗱 ，local producer 我哋係本地嘅 producer。Remember, local producer also RPU. Now, therefore, the total GDP value is actually the sum of all these three RPUs. OK， 嗱，時間關係啦，原來之前上堂講過啦。So let's calculate each of them. Factory X output 3,000, 1,000 minus 2,500. So we get 1.5K. OK， 好嘛 ？Then retailer Y 4,000 minus 3,000， 嗱又嚟咯，睇下啦喎，好得意喎呢個，見唔見啊？減3,000 automatically taken care of this problem. And finally, the local producer from 0 to 500, right? We have this number. Therefore, the total should be 3,000. Total GDP should be 3,000. Now, don't worry, boys. Some of you may ask, can I do this example with another approach? The answer is yes, you can do that. Don't worry, we are going to look at this example again when we go to expenditure approach. Okay, 好嘛? So basically, right? When we talk about value-added approach, it's just like this. Of course, in reality, I think you can imagine this method very impractical, right? It's so difficult to know their value added. So this is a theoretical method to do it. Okay, 好吧? Now, for the next video, we will focus our attention on the past paper questions on value added approach. Okay, see you very soon in our next video then. See you then. Bye-bye.